each other through this ever-changing weather. Explore every bend of the road together. An open heart when your world is a mess. That's the only kind of love, the only kind of love. No need for presents or a fancy dress. That's the only kind of love, the only kind of love I need.
Good morning, YouTube family. Our mornings have never been better than since we got the horses. They're literally the best things to wake up to every morning. Doesn't matter how you wake up, whether you're like, oh, I'm so tired, you'd like to stay in bed. First thing you think of when you open your eyes is that the horses are there waiting for you to get out and get in the paddock for the day and just like do the morning routine. It is just our absolute favorite. As soon as the boys are off onto the school bus in the morning, Philip and I go and get everything ready to get all the animals done. Just love being able to come out with the horses and spend some time with them. Whether it's just bringing them out to the pasture and letting them do their thing, doing our morning grooming routines, just feeding all the animals is just so relaxing and a great way to start your day, because how could you ever wake up and have a bad day when you wake up to these two? We just have so far had nothing but an incredible journey having the horses. So that being said, you might have noticed we were a little bit MIA over the past week and a half as we headed back to school. We got not one, but two sets of different back to school bugs that literally wiped out the whole house back to back. We had sickness for the 1 week, kids went back to school for 2 days, and then we were right back, all of us into bed for the past couple of days because we have obviously been sick. So you might hear we're sounding a little bit off still, but we're feeling much better and ready to get back at a whole huge list of to-do lists that we have for the homestead and interior renovations as we get into changing seasons into fall. Our leaves are starting to change here in our area, and so it's just so nice to see the weather's getting a little bit crisper, wood stoves needing to be on, things like that. So we're gonna work outside today because it's a gorgeous day, because we have a huge pile of something that's waiting for us and we really have to get to working on this project. So for this side of the paddock that we have for the horses, we have been just putting some boards across and then making sure that they're secure for the day while they're out there, because this is going to be a large gate. But what we've been doing is just working our way around, working on the paddock for them. As you can see, our posts and everything are already up. You saw we've been working on that. But that is going to be a gate there. Then we're going to have some more fencing here, and then a double wide gate over here in case we ever need to get a trailer or any larger machinery into it. So for now, this is what's working, but we're just starting to work on the second part of the paddock now that the weather's nicer and we're feeling a little bit better. So we're going to be getting those gates built to make things a little bit easier for accessing in and out. And then of course, this fencing here is all going to be white, just like the front entryway that we have going there white. And honestly, I noticed the other day, I was so surprised, and I wanted to show you just how good the paint has gone on the logs that we used at the front that we didn't even remove the bark on. The paint has stayed so well on them that I think honestly it's gonna last a really long time. And I wasn't sure how that was gonna work, and I thought, well, if I have to paint it again next year, then fine. But none of the paint has come off. So now that I know that it's sticking, I'm gonna do a second coat when I do the paddock fencing all the way around. And then I want to paint the round pen white as well. So all the fencing will be matching, but I think that's gonna look so nice from the road, just with the fact that we have the white trim on the dark house. And you know that last year in the fall, we built our greenhouse to be able to start our garden, which didn't happen because obviously I had my surgery. And last year the garden happened when Philip had his accident. So we've been itching and really wanting to do gardening as we're heading into fall and winter, which kind of sucks to be honest, but we have lots of stuff to do to be able to plan and get ahead for next year in the spring to do our huge garden and make use of the greenhouse. But currently the greenhouse is being occupied by all of our creatures. So we need to get them out of the greenhouse, and I would really like to change the greenhouse to white. We painted it dark thinking that we didn't want to have white for any of our exterior like farm buildings, because then how do you possibly keep it clean? But now that it's been black and some of the paint is already kind of chipping on it anyways, just from our salty air, I'm like, if I'm gonna repaint it again, I might as well make it white. Just think maybe just a fresh look will be nice for when we're gonna have our garden over there with our raised garden beds and all the things we're gonna do for our gardens and bees over on that area of the yard. So when talking about getting the creatures out of there, we're left with a large pile of wood from the wood shelter falling down. And that wood shelter wood is good wood. There's nothing wrong with that wood. So we want to take the wood from that massive pile and be able to turn it into the coop systems for our chickens, turkeys, and ducks. But in order to access the base part that we need to start the coops, it's at the bottom of the pile of wood. So we need to move all of the wood that's on top of the platform that the wood was sitting on for our wood stove in the wood shelter. Move all of that, which is our paddock slat fencing, and then we'll be able to make shape of the base of that wood shelter to transform that wood into the bases of our 2 new coops that we're going to be building. We do plan on getting more turkeys in the spring, as well as implement some more chickens and probably a few more ducks. So we want to make sure that we have room for whatever's going to be coming here in the spring, as well as what we already have. The roof of the wood shelter we're going to be cutting to be able to make them fit whatever style coops that we build for each of the creatures. And we're going to be using some of the slats and some 2x4s that were already from the homesteading family. If we need to replace any to continue doing the rest of the paddock for the small animal side, then we'll get some more. But in the meantime, we want to get the paddock on this side for the horses done and the coops built, and then we can go from there for extending the fencing. Do you even know a single yoga pose?
For sure.
Okay. Meet English Homestead yoga instructor.
Welcome to Rooftop Yoga. Today we're gonna hit our Zen state and we're gonna release all the negative energy from our body and bring in that beautiful, good energy from the sun into our body and down to our toes.
This is laughter therapy. This is not yoga. Are we doing? Okay, what are we doing? Oh, okay. I'm gonna follow you.
Okay.
Okay, ready?
First, we're gonna. What I like to do. Please, honey,
Okay.
we need to take this serious because Zen
Okay.
is serious.
Okay.
In order to reach full chi. Okay. So
Okay.
what I want you to do is place your thumb on any other fingertip on that hand. 'Cause we want a cycle of energy to come back. Okay. Breathe in.
Okay. Musa.
Breathe out. I want you to make the noise with me.
Okay.
This is the negative energy
Okay.
coming out. Breathe in. You feel that, right? You feel the energy going?
I feel the tears of laughter running down my face.
Right?
Okay, what other moves you got?
I think we need to do some stretching in order to finish this pile.
Because we're 40 now. We have to do yoga stretching.
So, what we want to do...
I gotta give myself a little more room
Yeah.
for like proper stretching etiquette
we
here.
need
It's gotta be
yeah.
like yoga
Yeah.
etiquette where you're
That's
not.
why when you do rooftop yoga at your house, make sure you have a big roof so you have ample room for chi.
For chi, yeah, chi room.
Okay.
Okay, ready?
Now what we're going to do is we're going to touch our toes that we have not seen in years.
Let's do it. Ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1. Yep.
I really want you to hold that there. Keep your legs as straight as you can. You know, and just feel that burn. You know, I'll get up. You
Haven't
keep
done that
going.
for a really long time.
You keep going, I'll count you out.
Okay, yeah, you're gonna count me out?
Yeah. And 3, 2, 1, chi. Okay. Now we're gonna breathe in and we're gonna.
You're summoning the bees. There are bees coming to you.
That's the chi.
That's the chi.
And
Okay.
if you do it and you're a master, we'll get the bees to move all the wood for us.
Okay, let's let that happen.
We're gonna reach enlightenment very soon.
I want to see you do the what's that really hard one?
Downward dog.
No, I don't want to see you do downward dog. What was the
The lotus.
the lotus? I want to see you do the lotus. Come on, Phil. Let's see the lotus.
Oh, and that concludes our session for rooftop yoga with Phil English and Elysia English. Good game.
Oh my gosh. Oh. Send help.
Staying at home, turn off the phone, I will listen to you. You lay in the sheets, you hold on to me like I'm already gone, and whisper your words like secrets written in an old moleskin. Look up above, the sunlight seems like it is gonna break in, and something ain't right. Yeah, something ain't right. Oh, something ain't right. Something ain't right.
We just got finished moving all of the wood. That was a big job, but we're happy that we got that moved, and we have it sitting up on a bunch of logs, so it's not actually sitting on the ground, but we are going to be using this wood this week. And then we're left with the base from the original firewood shelter. So this base is going to turn into the floors for a couple of the coops that we're going to build. But since we're going to reconfigure it, we're going to take out all the screws along where we have these 2x4s here and be able to kind of loosen up all of the boards so we can put them where we want them and cut this to different sizes to be able to use it and upcycle all of this wood, because there is nothing wrong with any of this wood. And then we'll be able to start building upright.
That'll work.
Okay, so we want to go for the turkeys. We want the coop to be pretty big. You know what's the good thing?
What's the good thing?
Turkeys don't have measuring tapes.
You know what I mean.
We are using milled lumber from a local mill family, which is what we use to build our wood shelter. So the wood is actually cut to true size. So a 2x4 is actually 2 inches by 4 inches, unlike the lumber that you purchase at the lumber store. Things are cut accurately, but there's always some differences in the wood. Like, not everyone is exactly perfect, and so when we're building coops, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, some of these pieces look like boomerangs more than they do 2x4s.
Sticks and boomerangs. You're gonna break out your circular saw talons.
Okay.
What we have here is we have a support beam underneath here. We have one here, we have one here, and we have one on the end. So it's gonna give us 2 center supports, a front and back support, and we already have our end support. So that's basically gonna be the very bottom floor of our turkey coop. But because we have these spaces, because we wanted the airflow for the firewood shelter that was here, we obviously don't want any turkey legs or anything to be able to, like predators, like weasels or anything, to be able to come up underneath. So once we cut this, those boards are all gonna be the right length. We're gonna butt them all together and make them nice and tight, and then fill in the end that we're missing, because then we'll obviously have, we'll be short some of the boards across because we're closing up all the holes, and then drill everything back down so we'll have a solid dance floor for the turkeys. So nice to have power anywhere on the homestead. So we've got the extension cord.
Free power.
Free power.
Power.
This is literally a game changer for us. Anywhere around the homestead, we can operate power. 100% charged. We charged it yesterday, so we knew we were going to be working outside all day today. Plug it in an extension cord, and we are ready to work all day without having to charge it up again. Pretty amazing tool to have around.
If you really wanted to, we could set up the solar panels right now and catch the little bit of suns that come throughout the day and charge it while we're working on our project.
Caught behind an Elysian blind, how to reach for the city lines. This ain't where I belong. Hey, look at me, man, what I've become. I've been running east, looking for a sunset, digging deep since '99. What I thought was gone was sitting in my pocket in plain sight all along. It's time for me to go, burn all bridges, all I know. I got lost along the way, fell between the foam, pulling the stitches. Time to let go, so come what may. Don't look before you leave. What you give, you get to keep. So long, farewell, bye-bye. Let's have a toast.
Okay, I'm loving the way that this is turning out already. We have our platform completely level. So good to be able to make use of that really nice lumber that we had for the log shelter. I think this is going to be so amazing. And now we get to start building up. Our idea is where we have the front here, there'll be like a little triangle in the ground. We can either build up the ground there, or we thought it would be so cute to use a whole bunch of the rocks from the property and do a little line of rocks around the perimeter, and then even sort of up onto this side here, just to give a little bit of texture to the look of what we're going to do in the end. So we'll have to see how that turns out once we get things painted and put together, because it's not going to be this color exactly. And I think it's looking so good so far. Now we're deciding on how tall we want it to be. And the front two doors are going to be coming right from the front here. That is going to be amazing. We'll have room to swing the doors open. I think this is going to be so fun. And remember, they're going to have this huge area all over here to the post on this side. I'll back up here. They have all the way back around to the post that will be on that side, down here. So they have so much square footage to be able to play. It's going to be so fun.
It's 2 a.m. and I can't fall asleep, 'cause I'm not tired. I'm thinking about the days we used to shine when we were young. I told you that we should start a band and reach for the sky. It's 2 a.m. and I can't fall asleep. I'm just not tired. I can hear the raindrops falling. It's cold outside and I kind of feel like calling, but it's too late now. I just miss you. I just miss you. We were such a constellation, right? No, you'd agree. Made a reputation for ourselves at age 18.
Now that we have our uprights for our building there, we are going to work on the floor before we get any more of the uppers done. So all those pieces that we took off when we were first taking it apart is what's going to be our floorboards. So Philip and I are going to carry them all over now, get them fired on. We'll have to make a few cuts to make room for where we actually put our corner pieces, but that's okay. We have some cutting to do. Did you think that when we bought this place, that after the amount of time we've been here, that we would have this much accomplished already? Like, when mom and dad come back for their next visit, they're not going to believe it when they see it. Because when they got here, we had no walls, we had no fencing, we had no horses. Like, we had,
There were giraffes.
there was the ceiling was thunderstorming. I just feel like we've made so much progress on the inside, and it's so nice to be working on outside projects.
I agree.
Rusty red on her shoulder, I was cleaning her shoe when it clicked on the trot over in the bright morning dew. We brushed and we braided dandelions and chewed. It was a mutual arrangement we both saw into. Can she walk in the fire? Can she run in the rain? Can she make it up the mountainside? Can she make it down again? I have often wondered if she'll go and jump the fence. Will she keep on moving onward or stay in what could have been?
So I I think we got a lot of progress done in just one day of getting a head start on making our coops for the turkeys. I'm so excited to get them into an actual coop and out of the greenhouse, not only because selfishly I want to use the greenhouse, but also I think they're going to love having this large area that's going to have nature in it. We're going to make them some really neat things in this space, and then of course to have a beautiful coop to go into at night and to be sheltered. I think this is great because it's going to shelter a lot of the wind that will come for some of the storms that we have. It's going to keep the coop cooler in the summer so it's not getting beat on the actual like sun, and just having a little bit of that shade here. And then I think because we're doing the angled roof, it's going to be really good because even though sometimes we do get a lot of snow, it's hopefully going to all kind of fall back. We're also going to be able to do an eaves trough on the back to be able to catch water here, to be able to give to the animals. So I think that this style that we're building is really going to work out in the end. And being able to make lemonade out of lemons is really the greatest option for us here on the homestead. Is a couple of issues. Obviously the wood shelter plans were not that great and the shelter fell, but we needed to relocate the shelter as soon as snow's gone from this winter anyways, because we are working on the permit process to be able to build our stable barn for the horses, which is going to go where the wood shelter is. And so to be able to make use of all this wood and get this done before we're in like our busy building season, which will be spring, I think it's great to get these shelters done now. I think it's turning out really good, but now we're left with an absolutely impossible task. Because while we've been building on this, and we obviously need to work on our walls, we cut the roof to the wood shelter, thinking that if we had it cut in half, that between Philip and I, and maybe the winch on a quad, that we would be able to relocate the half side of the roof over here to this coop space and be able to get it on top of the shelter. We lifted it upright so that it's kind of just like a standing wall, and it is absolutely impossible for Philip and I together to be able to manpower this way up onto the roof and even to move it even a couple of feet. So tonight our brainstorm is how are we going to move that roof, because it would be such a waste of materials if we were to just go buy more materials and rebuild the roof, which we'll have to do if we can't figure this out. But I think if we're determined enough, and where there's a will, there's a way, hopefully we can move that in some type of a way to be able to get it over here and up on this roof. So wish us luck. But thank you. I hope that you enjoyed today's episode. Stay tuned for tomorrow's episode to see just how that's going to work out for us, because I think it's going to be a little bit dangerous and a little bit sketchy, but I think we're going to be able to figure it out. There's some way, somehow, that roof is going up there. So I love you. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you tomorrow.